Dear students, myself is Dr. Dinesh Pathak, and today we will try to understand the concept of X-ray diffraction to study the structure of crystals. Now we understand that if we have a solid, then further it can be said to be made up of system of arranged atoms, and the atoms which are not arranged. If the atoms are arranged in some fashion, then when we define them as crystalline, and if there is no arrangement, then we say the system is amorphous. Further, if it is crystalline, then if the periodicity is extended throughout the material or extended throughout the solid, means if the arrangement is same without any fault in the whole system, we define it as single crystal. Otherwise, if there are in between some faults like this, and the ordered zones are separated by some fault or boundaries, we define them as polycrystal. Now, how to analyze it? So this idea was first of all speculated by Greeks. They said that there may be some arrangement in solids, and then the experiment by a German physicist Loy, he interpreted this not in a very good explanation. The first successful experiment and the first successful science was done by Bragg and Bragg, the father-son Nobel laureates. They did an experiment which is named as X Ray Diffraction. X Ray Diffraction, for which they got Nobel Prize in Physics, and this was the only. This was the youngest. This was the Nobel Prize given to the youngest physicist Nobel laureate. But they allowed the X-rays to fall on a crystal, and they see the diffraction pattern like this. Means the one ray that got diffracted from the upper layer of the crystal lattice, and another ray got diffracted from the lower layer of the crystal lattice. And further, we all know that they defined here the Bragg law, that is 2d sine theta is equal to n lambda, where d is the interplanar spacing. And further, from here, if we plot 2 theta versus intensity, then the possibilities are many, like this. So the first possibility is that the diffracted rays, they may further interfere and they may give peaks like this. The peak may be broad also, or there may be no peak. So this was the X-ray diffraction. This is the actually X-ray diffraction data, where the plot 2 theta versus intensity. So obviously, if there is some arrangement either in single crystalline way or polycrystalline way, there will be some planes, and the X-rays they will get diffract from the planes, and they will further make some pattern between 2 theta and intensity. They will make some peaks, and if the arrangement is limited to very small zones, then the peaks will be broad. And if there will be no arrangement like the amorphous system, there will be no diffraction because there are no planes here. And if there is no diffraction, we say that the final data will be like this: 2 theta versus intensity, means there will be no diffraction pattern. So if we have some materials like this, that amorphous materials, crystalline materials, single crystalline, polycrystalline, textured, so we can distinguish them with the help of X-ray diffraction. That is, if we are getting no peak, we will say that there is no arrangement, And if we are getting some peaks, we say there are some ordered patterns. And then we define we can further distinguish further, means we can distinguish in between the amorphous and crystalline system. So this was the first experiment which was done to confirm that the matter is composed of some ordered patterns. Means if the matter is arranged of ordered pattern, we can actually see from the data, we can actually see by data that if the system is arranged, if the solid is made of arranged atoms, or if they are not arranged. Further, there are many possibilities to analyze the data. We can see the planes also, which are further classified by the Miller indices. Then we can even find the size here also of those clusters, and so many things further can be analyzed. So this idea was given by Bragg, the father-son Nobel laureates, and this experiment is named as Bragg's X Ray Diffraction experiment. I hope you understood this. Today we discussed that how to distinguish the solids, either powder or the pellet forms, how to see if there is arrangement or not. Thank you.